Hi everybody. Today is Wednesday, September 18th, 2019. It is around 5 o'clock p.m. right now. I am at the Charging Bull statue at the intersection of Broadway and Morris Street. The topic of today's video is dating in New York City, specifically dating as a young man in New York City. Now, I think you're wondering why, hey, New York City is such a big city, there's so many people here, why would I need a guide on dating, right? Well, that there is the pros and cons of it, because in a city of this many people, sure, it may be easy to find the person you want because there's so many people, or so you would think, but because there's so many people, that's the downfall, because people have choices. They're much less likely to settle with somebody that doesn't fit all their requirements. So this is why this guide is here on dating. Now, I have to stress, before you start to even think about entering someone into your life, you need to be happy and content with where you are in life. I wouldn't recommend sharing a life or a friendship with somebody that isn't who you are. You need to express yourself the way you are, happy and content, before you start to introduce someone of value into your life. So if you're not at that point yet, I would recommend you to work on yourself first and improve yourself to that point until you get to the point where you're able to share somebody into your life. So, how do you meet somebody in New York? Well, it can be as easy as walking up to someone in the street and saying hi. Just be yourself. Try not to act something different that you wouldn't do on a normal basis. But tell me about the contract. On a different note, you do have to be the best version of yourself you can be. You can't just be hey, I'm myself. I'm just gonna stay home and study and do all these activities that I like that are just one person. No, you have to be yourself in a way that tries to include other people. It may be very hard to approach someone on the street if you're saying hello, but you can do it in a way that doesn't seem threatening or creepy. If you're at an event where there's a lot of food going around, ask somebody how their drink is or what do you think of the event. That's an easy way to get a conversation started. Another way you can do it too is pass a note to somebody if you're pressed for time. Just say, hey, I really liked you, here's my number. This is how you meet people. You can also do it the traditional way by going into bars and clubs and then sitting down and becoming a regular there, introducing yourself to people there, and that's how eventually you'll meet somebody. Don't forget too, another powerful way to meet people is to be introduced to somebody. If you have a lot of, if you know a lot of people already, if you're a student here, you can ask your classmates if they know anybody who may be suitable for you, or co-workers. I think it's a good idea to let people know that you're dating and actively looking for somebody, because in that way they can help you out, and in return you just become a much better person that way. I don't think anybody's pride should be shut down and be embarrassed by admitting to the fact that you're looking for love or looking for somebody. There's also the other way, which in my experience is a lot harder, and that's the world of online dating. Of course, in New York City they have this app culture and online dating culture of websites like Match.com, OkCupid, Tinder, and even Hinge. Although Hinge is more for one-night stands. And in my experience, the online dating culture and app culture in New York City is heavily skewed towards women. women have the ultimate choice in deciding whether or not to match with you or not. And I know this for a fact because I've talked to many of my female friends who have used online dating services, and there's this one woman I know, she had over 100 messages in one day. And if you're somebody who's just messaging a woman and to think that you're one of those 100 messages, who is this girl gonna read? Who's this girl gonna open the messages and decide which one to talk to? It's insane. So I believe in order to succeed in online dating, you really have to persist, and you need to have a great profile that stands out from everybody else. Introduce your way in a way that's not creepy. Don't go too much, and try not to take it personal if a woman doesn't reply to your messages. It's all about a numbers game with online dating from the male's perspective. That's in my experience. Another thing I do see in New York City is there is a lot of racism in dating, believe it or not. People won't say it out loud, but studies have shown that African American male and female people, as well as Asian males, tend to be the least desirable in the world of dating in general. Now, there may be some cultural tendencies as to why that's occurring, but that's just the statistics. And if you fall into one of those groups, don't let it bother you. Just keep going and try to be the best version of yourself as you can be. You do need a high self-esteem. You can't help what other people think about you or about your race or income status. You just have to live with it and do the best you can do. There are a lot of dating options in New York City, places you can take dates on. There's tons of restaurants that are available. Depending on your lifestyle and how you want to approach it, you can make the date completely free, such as a walk in Central Park or through a shopping mall. Or you can bring somebody to a Broadway play if that's your thing. This, my suggestion to you is, when you're online dating or dating in general, is to bring somebody to some place that's comfortable for you. Do not put yourself out of your comfort zone into a place that you'll never ever visit, and then the woman or the girl or whoever you're seeing may feel very uncomfortable by this, and that will put a lot of pressure on her part to go forward. Like, if you're somebody who never does helicopter rides and you try to meet somebody for a helicopter ride on the first date, that's going to send a strong message to the woman that maybe they're expecting a little bit more in the future. That's something to consider and think about. Another way you can meet women too is through a event site such as Eventbrite or Meetup.com. In this way, you get to meet somebody that corresponds to your activities, so you have something more in common. Like if you like photography, you can join a photography walk or photography meetup, and then you can introduce yourself that way. Don't be creepy or persistent. Just say, "Hi, my name is so-and-so and I'm new to this class. Like, show me some of the pictures you've taken." And then once you start to know somebody a little bit more, then you could say like, "Oh, by the way, I'm actually looking for somebody. Would you happen to know anybody who would meet my needs?" And then see where it goes from there. That's one way to meet somebody, through events. There's also a lot of other events in New York City, such as Shakespeare in the Park. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, where you can go, the tickets are free, and you may meet somebody there who may be interested in Shakespeare in the Park as well. But my point is, when you're going outside, try to think about where you would like your future match to be or align with your activities. Like if you like driving, maybe you go to a driving meetup. At least you'll have that in common. Or if you like studying, you can do a library meetup, study about history or something. So that way you can talk about, you know, I don't know, like something about the Great Depression or something. Probably not a happy topic for a first date, but you get what I'm saying. Another way you can handle it too is just by going to like a food festival and ask about what they're eating, what they're drinking, how they like the food. That's another way to go about it, because everybody needs to eat and hang around. Another tip that I do have to warn you about is because New York City is such a heavy tourist destination, not everybody you meet will actually be living or from the city. There's a lot of people who commute from farther parts of New York State, New Jersey, travelers. So if that's the case, and that's not a the word's escaping me, not reliable thought for you to date someone from farther away, then maybe you should reconsider meeting somebody like close by or going to the outer boroughs. In the outer boroughs, there are a lot less tourists and people who travel to and from Manhattan to the city to enjoy things. That's what I've experienced anyway. Now, one thing I advise you not to do in New York City is to save too much money on dates. You can be a real skimp and like use a Groupon for a date or go for walks all the time, but what kind of impression does that leave on somebody, that you're going to be saving money all the time and not enjoying your life? People like to be outgoing. They want to see what you enjoy doing on your free time. What do you value your money being spent on for entertainment and experiences? Even if it's a little bit, getting a cup of coffee or getting a drink or a restaurant in a nice place. That doesn't require not a lot of money. But if you're going the free route the whole time, then I wouldn't really recommend it, although it could work. But anyway, I think I'm going to end this video here. If you like my suggestion on how to meet people in New York as well as dating tips in New York City, be sure to give this video a big like, subscribe for some more adventures. I'll see you all next time, and take care. The next stop is 5th Avenue.